It's a beautiful day as the top private school team in Virginia has come south to the center of the state for a high school lacrosse battle as the homestanding Woodberry Forest Tigers play host to the top-ranked St. Stephen's St. Agnes Saints. Hi, lacrosse fans. I'm Jeremy Huber, joined by Earl Brewer. And Earl, again, top-ranked St. Stephen's St. Agnes, Woodberry Forest, bit of an upstart program. Should be an interesting game today, to say the least.
Yeah, we've gotten a break here. We had some bad weather come through, Jeremy. The skies have cleared now. We're ready for a great day of lacrosse.
Let's go ahead and jump right into it. Let's take a look at our keys to the game for St. Stephen's St. Agnes, #1 team in the state. Earl, what do they have to do today to get the win?
Win face-offs. They have a very good face-off man on Woodberry. Not a dominant face-off man on St. Stephen's, Jeremy, but they have two great wing players in Sam Dyson and Emmett Dunn that they'll get it done on the face-off. Control in between the lines and time of possession. I'm going to roll both these together, Jeremy. They love to play 6-on-6 lacrosse. Coach Tybel's offense, when they set up, they're dangerous. He can put 6 guys out there that can all score goals. And defensively, they play great team defense. His 3 long poles are excellent, along with Big Sam Dyson, their long stick midi. You'll see Bennett Miller, Emmett Dunn, short stick middies. They're as good as they are around.
Well, some other really good players on this St. Stephen's St. Agnes team. Let's go ahead and take a look at him. Our first player to watch, it's Chase Gorey.
Chase is having a great year. Left-handed mostly. He's going to play at Middlebury next year. We saw him play a few weeks ago against Collegiate. He had a huge day. He's having a great senior year.
Of course, going to Middlebury, you'll know him by those black high-top cleats there, or at least maybe the high socks. Looks a little like Johnny Unitas on your TV screen.
And I'm old enough to remember that, Jeremy.
Let's get it over to our other player to watch. We move to the net, and that's the goalkeeper, Justin Alexander.
64% saves on the season percentage. He's having a great year. He's great making the save in the cage, and then he's looking up right away to get the ball down the field. He's having an excellent year.
Now over to Woodberry Forest as they look to go ahead and pull the upset today. What do they have to do to get it done?
Yeah, we said about goalie play. Goalie's going to have to play. Faulkner's going to have to play tough today because I've got a feeling he's going to see a lot of shots. Last time we saw him, he was very solid when they played Cape Henry Collegiate. Communicating on defense. St. Stephen's moves the ball very well. They're a very unselfish team. The defense is going to have to be on their toes. Who's sliding, who's going. They've got to be talking all day long and value the ball. I really think today, Jeremy, when they get a chance to transition offense, they've got to take it because when St. Stephen's sets up their defense, they're as good a team in the state of Virginia as there is in 6-on-6 defense.
Let's go ahead and take a look at a couple players to watch, and Earl, these tie in pretty nicely with our keys. It's the face-off man for Woodberry Forest, Ian Weinberg.
Yeah, having a great year. Again, he's just a sophomore, I believe, and he's a big, strong kid. St. Stephen's doesn't have a dominant face-off guy. Weinberg might be able to keep them here early, keep them in this game because he could dominate at the X.
Working hand-in-hand to pull the upset, that would be the goalie. That's Holden Faulkner.
And Faulkner's a very solid keeper in the cage. Again, he's going to see a lot of shots today. A goalie sometimes, if he's got his A game going, we saw that in the Penguins game last night against the Caps, didn't we? If you got a goalie that's stopping everything, he gives your team confidence, gives your team a little momentum. He can hold off a better opponent at times.
Had a chance to catch up with both coaches before the game. We start things off with the head coach of the top-ranked St. Stephen's St. Agnes Saints, Andy Tybel. Well, Andy, obviously last time out, you guys lose a tough one to Bullis. How do you feel about your guys rebounding in this matchup today against Woodberry Forest?
Well, I think that's the big test for us is kind of see how they regroup emotionally and physically and see if we can't get back going in the right direction.
Now, you guys had a little trouble getting down here. You hit some storms. Obviously, it's a little wet out here today, though you are playing the field turf. Any concern with maybe your routine getting thrown off a little bit in this game?
No, I think both teams go through it, and you can't really make excuses for it. We're lucky that the storm blew through and we get a chance to play, so hopefully we show up and do that. We're going to need to against them. They're well coached and a good team.
Thank you very much, Andy.
Absolutely. Thank you.
In addition to catching up with Coach Tybel, also had a chance to talk to the head coach of the Woodberry Forest Tigers, Spotty Robbins. Well, Spotty, obviously you got #1 St. Stephen's St. Agnes coming in today. Are your guys aware of the opportunity that kind of sits in front of them?
Yeah, they are. I told them this morning that they had an opportunity to make a memory that they won't soon forget today. We're certainly the underdog, but I feel like if we play a clean game, we take care of the ball, we get some saves, we're going to be right in this thing.
Now, your guys like to play fast and kind of let it flow a little bit. How do you want to see the pace of play for you guys to get the win?
Fast.
Well, that's a man of simple words. Spotty, thank you very much.
Appreciate it, man.
And of course, Earl, Coach Robbins saying there he wants to play fast, and obviously they play best when they're playing fast.
Yeah, and again, Jeremy, I think anytime they've got uneven numbers today, they've got any kind of transition, whether it's 4-on-4, 5-on-5, I say they push it today. I say they go to the goal, try to get some cheapies, as we say, try to get on the board that way, because when they do settle the ball down, I think that's when St. Stephen's is at their best.
And of course, some very good players in the St. Stephen's, St. Agnes team. You see the starting lineup there, and a lot of quality lacrosse players, Earl.
Yeah, you look at that attack. I know all three of those guys. They're very, very talented. At midfield, too, Turner Schmidt is a great guy. He's come back from a knee injury. He played attack mostly last season. Turner's come back and has had a great year. Wade Shervin, big, left-handed, going to play at Drexel next year. He's a scoring machine. You got to keep your eye on Wade. And I love Logan Akey, number 20, big, tall, strong defenseman that can get up and down the field. Very, very solid player. Talked about Alexander already in the cage. Does a great job for them.
And of course, a couple guys to watch off the bench as well. Austin Stewart, Rainier Lee going to Denver, or committed to Denver and Providence respectively. I'll go over to Woodbury Forest. Their starting lineup today, and of course, they got a lot to go ahead and get stay in this one and maybe pull the upset.
Yeah, besides we talked about Weinberg, but Coleman Bishop's leading scorer for them right now. I said this about Coleman before. Don't be fooled by his size. He's not a big guy, but he's a tough guy. He'll get goals inside. He'll move the ball very well, and he's a very good finisher. And we talked about Holden a little bit in the cage again. They're going to need a big day out of them against this very high-powered St. Stephen's team.
Yeah, those two players going to have to come up big to keep the Tigers in this game and maybe pull the upset. Of course, this one, Earl, could end up being a first-round playoff matchup when it comes to the VISA playoffs. Right now, St. Stephen's is number 1, number 2, or number 8 right now is Woodbury Forest. They can meet early on. Of course, let's take a look at the last time these two teams faced off. St. Stephen's got the win 9-3 over Woodbury Forest. Of course, that one's on the road for the Tigers. Are hoping for a different result today.
Yeah, and who knows here, Jeremy? St. Stephen's has played a very, very tough schedule, and Woodbury's in the middle of kind of a murderer's row, too.
Yep.
They've got their last 4 games are against very, very tough opponents, too.
Already played some very tough opponents, and actually, Earl, the current top 10 in VISA, Woodbury Forest has played all 9 teams, or will play all 9 teams. So obviously both these teams play a lot of quality opponents. The Tigers are seeing a lot of them in the last few weeks. A big winning streak for the Tigers, 6 on the year, 6 in a row. Ended up with a 5 out of 6 losing streak. Their last win coming 2 games ago against John Paul the Great, but they've had some issues over the last few. Again, it's playing so many tough teams, and you know that as a coach, Earl.
Yeah.
Your teams are really, really good most of the time, but trying to get a young team to come around against tough opponents is always difficult.
Yeah, day in, day out, when you line up against somebody and you look and see how well they've done on the season, yeah, it can be frustrating sometimes for young players. They just got to hang in there and play their game today.
You see, of course, that Earl was referring to that rough road ahead. So almost ready for some lacrosse here at Woodbury Forest. A little later than expected start due to the weather. Originally, we were supposed to get going at 4:30. Instead, we start at 5:15, but it's time for lacrosse. Woodbury Forest in the white with the black helmets, while St. Stephen's, St. Agnes in the red with the white helmets. We're so glad you could be along with us today as we get ready to start things off here in Central Virginia.
Again, watch the wing play again from the Saints here with Dunn.
And a face-off won by Ian Weinberg from Garrison Ketta, and the Tigers will start off early, and really early, quickly on. They're trying for that transition opportunity, or it goes awry.
I don't think that's a bad play on their part, Jeremy. I think they need to push the tempo here early.
Ware goes and picks that one up. Go track it down before it goes out of bounds, and the Tigers will look to go ahead and set things up. Again, Woodbury Forest 7-7 on the season, while St. Stephen's, St. Agnes, they come into this one with a 14-3 mark.
Yeah, Bennett Miller, Emmett Dunn, the short stick D middies right now for St. Stephen's.
Griffin looking to make a move, marked by Miller. Griffin looks for the shot. It gets loose, and Alexander's able to find it before it trickles into the net.
Yeah, that was interesting right there. I wasn't even sure where the ball was there for a moment.
Emmett Dunn now with some speed. You're going to like watching him today, folks. Almost has that quick speed, very diminutive as well.
I had the pleasure of coaching Emmett. In between the lines, he's as good as there is. He can get up and down the field.
So now St. Stephen's, after Woodbury Forest with the first opportunity. Saints looking for the icebreaker. That one's going to go higher over the cage, but the race won by 2 St. Stephen's players, so they'll bring it back in. Chance here knocked down by one of the Woodberry Forest defense. I believe that was Connell with the long stick. Chance here for St. Stephen's. That's going to be blocked by a defenseman. Back out top. As again, St. Stephen's looking for that first goal of the game. Maybe a chance there. Woodberry getting back, not giving a lot of space to Fisher. He'll dish it off. Now Goree, doubled. He'll get rid of it, back to Fisher, loses it for a second. Goree comes back for the ground ball pickup.
Wow, that was a heck of a ground ball.
Chance here, they'll bring it back out to the point. Stewart with it. Be cut off by Bozimski, ball loose again. And again, another nice ground ball for St. Stephen's. Shot there, that one will go wide, and they'll stay with St. Stephen's St. Agnes.
And a little rough play here to begin, Jeremy. It was kind of sloppy play. I'm sure things will settle down.
And it was interesting talking to Coach Tybel in the pregame interview. Said really wasn't too concerned about his guys having issues, though they had some travel issues getting down, the rain, all that. Good stop there. Fockler with it, but it'll be retained by the Saints. Fisher doing his best Willie Mays there to track that one down. That one high over the cage, but again, it'll be the Saints' ball.
Interesting. All the shots right now are coming high, Jeremy. I don't know, maybe is that sun playing a little bit of a role into the eyes of the goalie, but they're shooting high right now.
Shot, another one blocked by the defense of Woodberry Forest and tracked down. Almost a turnover as Goree was right there at Fockler, tried to pass that one off. Cannell tried to make the pass and almost danger. Tigers with the clear. That's Hathaway working behind the net.
Notice number 22 is Newsom. He's playing long stick right now. Dyson does not look like he is on the sideline today. I don't know if there's an injury on his part, but he doesn't look like he's number 10, I believe, and he's not there today.
So we'll see if that affects them going forward. Our conversations with both coaches said no real injury issues, but obviously could happen at a late date. Back out Griffin. He'll dish it off. Shot. Quick one saved. And a chance there for the quick putback. It couldn't be picked up quickly by Monroe, but the possession stays with Woodberry as Monroe gets it back behind the cage.
Excellent save by Alexander right there. He didn't have much time to react to that, but he got down, made a great save.
Shot. That one loose. Be knocked around. Chasing it down will be Ware.
I'm telling you, the defensemen on both sides have eaten some shots so far, Jeremy. That's big.
Yeah, kind of looking more like the NHL playoffs than the lacrosse game. A lot of blocked shots. Trying to get it right in front of the cage. Instead, Ware is going to go ahead and pick it up. Griffin, skip pass. Bozimski looking for some space, doesn't have it. He'll send it over to Kozar. Shot, score! What a play there. Chase Monroe with the finish, was fighting off Harrison Bluestein. Doesn't matter as he puts it away. So the senior out of Charlotte, North Carolina breaks the ice and puts Woodberry Forest up 1-0.
You see, kind of leads with the sticks, gets inside on him, gets great position, finishes the shot. They have no real slide coming. They believe in Harrison right there to play some great one-on-one defense, but they had a nice move there for the goal.
Earl, is that the equivalent of the running back dragging the defensive back into the end zone in football? I mean, Bluestein had the stick there. He just somehow muscled the shot in.
Yeah, that heck of a play. That's a big goal for Woodberry.
Thought the Tigers might get a face-off win instead. It'll be Tyar coming out with it. Now Saints make a couple offensive changes. Swaps in the midfield. They look for the equalizer. Martin back out top. Over to Shervin. Well, their top player, Shervin, looking for some space. Lindell Stone trying to bump him off. Martin still with it. He'll bring it back out to the point, and Fisher. Fisher, the senior, 24 goals on the season. Would love to get another. He's got some space. Thinks better of it. He'll send it back out top. Shervin, shot wide of the net.
Well, Woodberry's going to quickly figure out that Shervin is a lefty. He's going to want that left hand as much as possible.
Like both teams stopped for a second, and eventually they raced over, and St. Stephen's kept possession. Shervin setting up that shot off the post. And Stone will bring it back in as it'll be Woodberry's ball. So another good defensive stand by the Tigers.
Yeah, goalie's best friend right there, Jeremy.
So Stone with the pass. That's going to hop over the goaltender. Of course, interesting, Lindell Stone just last week committed to UVA as a football player. Of course, Stone, a standout quarterback here at Woodbury Forest, also plays lacrosse.
Yeah, offsides right there. No bad communication right there between the midi and the defenseman.
And Earl going to catch that replay of that last play up off the post.
Big drive, overhand, left-handed shot to the offside pipe, Jeremy. Just missed.
That close to being tied up, but we remain 1-0 coming up on the 5-minute mark in the first quarter. And Woodberry in the white, St. Stephen's in the red. Gorey, no space. He'll send it back out. Shervin loses control. Great ground ball pickup there by Woodbury Forest. That's Parker Stone, younger brother of Lindell. Got some open space. Will he take the shot? No, he'll go down and lose control of the ball.
Right, might have got away with a little bit of a push right there, Jeremy, but no call by the officials. No harm, no foul, I guess.
Of course, that's Matthew Fisher, the senior, going up against the freshman, Lindell Stone. A little bit tough. The bigger senior, stronger senior, kind of getting the extra play there.
We're seeing a lot of this first midfield by St. Stephen's. We know he goes too deep, but Shervin back on the field again.
Thought about the shot. Instead, he'll get Gorey a good look. He'll miss wide of the net, and it'll stay with St. Stephen's, St. Agnes.
One thing you're going to see, St. Stephen's loves the cutters from up top. You'll see these guys moving.
And right there, Earl will go ahead and see that.
See, I thought that was the push right there. I thought that was the push.
Now send it back behind the net, Martin. He'll lose control. He'll go ahead and get it back. I believe that was Williams with the long pole knocking that one loose.
Woodbury doing a great job so far with their close defense.
Gorey. He loses control.
I tell you, they brought their checkbooks today, Jeremy. They're just throwing some great checks.
Pass in the middle of the field. Woodbury switching up. And this may lead to a transition chance for St. Stephen's. Eventually it does as Shervin comes up with it. Pass in front. Instead, it'll be Faulkner grabbing it as he was looking for the easy dump in for Gorey.
Yeah, he had him on the back door, but that was a dangerous pass for Faulkner with a great play. Great recognition there.
Go ahead and get the clear as Beasley gets some open space. Will he shoot? That bounces. It'll be knocked up in the air. Fight for the ball. Eventually tracked down by Monroe.
I like what Woodbury's doing here, though, Jeremy. They're pushing transition as much as possible.
And Woodbury going to go ahead and take the timeout. And right now, you probably couldn't get a better start if you're Woodbury Forest. We'll take a look at this replay here, Earl.
It's good to be tall here. Shervin goes up against the jump ball situation. But look, a little selfish there going cross crease. Maybe he'd like to have that one back again.
And actually, Martin, instead of Gorey, on the other side, trying to get it into him. But again, Faulkner was up to the challenge, knew exactly what they were trying to do.
Yeah, you want to run away on that play. You kind of want to run away on that play, run away, give your offense a chance to reset back up. But it's a scramble situation early in the game. It's not a bad decision there to go ahead and go to the goal and try to get a shot.
So 1-0 lead for Woodbury Forest. We talked about what this game could mean for the Tigers. Again, St. Stephen's, the #1 team in VIS's rankings that just came out. They've been up at the top, have only lost 3 games on the year. Those losses for St. Stephen's, St. Agnes have come against very good teams so far this season. You talk about most of those, I believe one of them coming against Haverford, all of Pennsylvania, some other really top-notch teams as well. So they have done very well for themselves this season. You look at the rankings right there, and again, some quality teams at the top. You had a chance to call that St. Stephen's, St. Agnes collegiate game, and the Saints look really good in that one.
You know, they came in, I think collegiate was #1 at that time when they went into that game, but St. Stephen's really dominated that game from start to finish. As Coach Stout said, it was one of the better performances of the year. You know, they've again played tough competition as well. They played Bullis on Friday night, 7-5 game. 5-5 though into the fourth quarter against the second-ranked team in the Washington Post, Bullis, who's on top of the IAC right now. St. Stephen's sitting right at I think second or third. They got a good game, a big game coming up still against Georgetown Prep in the IAC before they start the IAC playoffs.
You look at the comparison for these two teams, goals for, goals against. Obviously, St. Stephen's up near 10 a game. Woodbury, not a slouch. They're scoring this year, just they're giving up a lot as well. You see the nets there. Obviously, Spotty Robbins would like to kind of switch that number, maybe get in the positive by the end of the year.
No one scored double digits against St. Stephen's all year. The most goals they've given up was 9.
So Woodbury Forest looking for an early 2-goal lead. They send it back out top to Bazimski. They'll get it to Griffin, and they'll keep moving it around inside the attacking zone. Quick movement. Here's Coleman Bishop. Had such a good game last time we were here. Griffin looking for space. He's wide of the net, but it'll stay with Woodbury Forest.
Not a bad shot. The goalie was fairly screened by a defenseman on the crease. Not a bad time to go low on that. Try to get that shot off.
2.5 minutes left to go in the quarter. Woodbury looking to add to their 1-0 lead on the quick goal by Monroe. There's one thing I think we noticed early on, some of the size differential between these two teams, Earl.
Yeah.
A lot of big guys for this St. Stephen's team.
Yeah, 42 is Molster, I believe. He's playing a close D today with 22 with Newsom playing at long stick midi. So with Dyson out in the lineup, it looks like Newsom's handling the LSM duties.
Another turnover for Woodbury Forest, another miscommunication, loose ball. I think both guys thought the other guy was going to go get it.
Yeah, good clear there by Bennett Miller, one of the D middies. Bennett's going to be playing college across Mary Washington next year.
Both Millers, Bennett and Zach, headed to Mary Washington. So coming up on the 92nd mark here in the first period, as St. Stephen's looks for the equalizer. Saints looking for some open spaces. Woodbury Forest has cut those down for the most part early on. There's that one that went off the post, helping them out. Extra defender. Larson gets a little screen, not called. Ketta, dump it back behind for Martin. Chance here, that's going to go wide of the net. Gorey's the closest one, he'll bring it back in.
Yeah, very patient offense right there by the Saints. Zach Miller's shot just a little wide of the cage.
Yeah, I think right now, if you're Coach Tybalt, you're probably like you guys to maybe just get the shot on net a little bit more.
Yeah.
There's some time and space maybe. Cut off quickly, back out top, Larson. Nothing for him, winding down, coming from 30 seconds to go. Shot low, stopped by Faulkner. Now Woodbury, turnover here, and it's going to be a goal. And a mistake by Woodbury Forest cost them dearly as St. Stephen's turns that into a score with Ben Martin doing the honors.
Yeah, as you can see on the replay, you know, they worked so hard, they were playing such great defense, and then to have a sloppy turnover right there. You know, you want to go back to your goalie on that clear, Jeremy. If the goalie wants to get behind the cage, call for that ball to clear the ball. It was a little bit of miscommunication right there.
And that opportunity, even with that low amount of time left, to even think about just going ahead and trying to take it up yourself.
Sure.
Well, Woodbury Forest with another win here, and I think Spotty Robbins wants to get the last shot of the quarter if at all possible. Chance here, Close in and score. Woodberry Forest, just like that, is the sophomore Gray Hathaway able to score it and put the Tigers back up by 1.
Great individual effort right there as time's winding down on the clock.
Hathaway, his 6th goal of the season, as he puts that one away and beats Alexander.
Yeah, you know Coach Stiebel's not going to be happy with that. He ran by, what, 3 to 4 guys right there. Kept it in his left hand for a good finish. Hathaway with a nice finish right there.
So key face-off here for both sides. Maybe a chance for a quick goal. 11 seconds to go. Kogar in the circle. This one eventually could be picked up by St. Stephen's. Chance here. That one's going to go wide of the cage. And they'll blow it dead and say that is the end of the quarter. A very good opening quarter for Woodberry Forest as they have the 2-1 lead. We'll be back with more right after this. Welcome back to Woodberry Forest, and Earl Gray Hathaway putting the Tigers back on top.
That's what they need, Jeremy. We stressed about any kind of a transition play. Anytime you have the opportunity, you got to go to the cage. I'm sure Coach Robbins probably pretty happy with that first quarter effort. He's getting good face-offs. He's playing great team defense. Faulkner's doing an outstanding job in the cage. One little mistake, this should be a 2-0 game.
Hello, and thank you for viewing this portion of our most recent broadcast. This concludes the free viewing experience for this broadcast. Now, if you're interested in viewing the remainder of this broadcast, well, you can simply click the Add to Cart button located directly below this video where it says Download a Copy. You can also purchase a DVD copy of this broadcast. That DVD will be viewable on both computers and televisions. Now, for those of you that don't know, DMVSTREAM.COM is an independently funded project, meaning that your purchases and pledge of support go a long way in helping us to continue to broadcast live sporting events in the DMV. Thanks for stopping by and for your continued support.